All right, what's up, my peeps? Joshua Smith here with another GSD Mode podcast real estate tip, where every single week I come to delivering different tips, tactics, and strategies to help you get shit done inside your real estate business and help ensure that you are crushing and dominating your overall real estate goals. All right, so today I'm here to talk to you about something that's extremely important when it comes to identifying your overall lead generation strategy and or strategies, and something that you got to be very, very careful with. Otherwise, it's so easy to run out of money and go broke and have this journey really end before it begins. So to ensure that you are crushing your goals, hitting the amount of money that you want to make in this industry and continue to grow and scale your business, I want to do a deep dive into this topic today about identifying the right lead generation strategies for you. And one of the things that is extremely important when it comes to identifying your lead generation strategies is paying attention to timeline, which I'll break down what I mean by that in a moment here. So if you are a real estate agent, maybe you're a brand new agent, if you're a brand new agent or a struggling agent, or somebody that's wanting to grow very quickly, this is going to be very, very important for you to watch and listen here. And look, if you are a team leader, maybe you're an established agent or established team leader, established brokerage owner, and you're wanting to try to be able to help your agents craft the best overall lead generation strategies for them, this is going to be really important for you as well. So we are very blessed to be in an industry where there's thousands of things that can work to go out there and create the results that we want to go out there and create. Look, we're not like back in the day selling Kirby vacuums, or maybe you're selling solar and it's like you got one play, which is door-to-door sales. No, everything works, nothing doesn't. There's so many different options, so many different lead generation strategies to be able to choose from that can allow us to go out there and grow and scale our real estate business, which allows us to be able to go identify certain strategies based on our strengths, based on, what we enjoy doing. And that's all great. But again, one thing and one huge mistake that so many make in this industry is they do not pay attention to the different timelines of the different lead generation strategies, because they have different timelines. Look, there are some strategies that are extremely effective, but it's like, okay, you start working on this now today, you aren't going to expect to start to see results for, let's just say, 12 months down the road. There are other strategies that, boom, go out there and create instant now money. So I'm going to break down an example and something that this is, an example that I walk through, or what I hear about from other real estate agents when I'm doing my free coaching calls, or agents that I'm having conversations with, my coaching clients, or agents within my team, that I hear quite often. So I'm going to kind of break down kind of a normal strategy plan that I walk people through, and a kind of a normal scenario, I should say, not a strategy plan, but normal of a scenario. And I'm going to give an example strategy plan to just make this as effective and powerful as I possibly can in today's podcast. But before we jump in, look, if you are a real estate agent, if you are a team leader, or if you are a brokerage owner and your real estate business is not exactly where you want it to be, it's like maybe your business is down here, but your full potential is way up here. You just do not know exactly what you must do to get from where you're at to where it is that you want to be. And look, I don't care if your business is declining and really struggling, or maybe your business is just staying status quo. It's doing okay. It's just staying status quo. It's just not really growing. Or maybe it is growing. It's just not growing at the pace that you want it to truly grow at. If that is you, I invite you to schedule a 100% free, 100% zero pressure Zoom 1 hour long coaching call with me personally. Here's what's going to happen on this coaching call. We're going to break down your business. We're going to break down where your business is currently at, what your 12-month goals are, what your long-term dreams, goals, and visions are for your business, what you are currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are. Then from there, I'm going to break down what my recommended personal strategy plan for you is to get from exactly where you're at to where it is that you want to go in the quickest, most effective, efficient, profitable manner. So by the end of this hour-long Zoom coaching call, I will make sure that you have full clarity on exactly what you must do to get to exactly where you want to go. We're going to eliminate all that guesswork, eliminate all that confusion. So again, you know exactly what you must do to get from where you're at to where you want to go. So if you want to take advantage of this, go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. Now, full disclosure, we're going to spend about 50 minutes going through everything that I just discussed there, which is plenty of enough time for us to get you dialed in. I promise you that. I've done a bazillion of these coaching calls over the years, and I will get you dialed in. I will make sure that you know exactly what you got to do to go get from where you're at to where you want to go. Last 10 minutes, I'm going to spend a few minutes walking through what my coaching program entails, what it's all about. Look, if it's for you, cool. If not, that's okay too. Look, we can still be friends. You have my 100% word that you will not leave this coaching call, whether you ever do in any advanced coaching with me, or if this free coaching call is the only experience that you ever do with me and only have with me, promise this will be of massive power, massive value to you. I got your back. I will not let you down. So again, if you are struggling, or if you just do not know exactly what you need to do, and I don't care if you're closing 0 deals or if you're closing 500 deals a year, I will get you dialed in on this call. So again, www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. All right, so let's jump in again. So now we are here talking about identifying your lead generation strategies. And the reason why I say strategies is, look, I'm a big believer in that you should have more than just one strategy. There's nothing wrong. I shouldn't say there's nothing wrong with having one strategy. I'm a big believer in having multiple strategies, multiple different things that we are going out there that don't conflict with each other, that can work with your schedule and putting this together. So this is why, this is why I do these coaching calls, right? Because on this podcast, and give a lot of great information, but it can be generalized, right? Like each of you have different strengths. You have different situations. Some of you are full-time, some of you are part-time. Again, everybody's got different strengths. Everybody's got different goals. Everybody's got, so we're coming together, coming up with our own unique strategies. Because we hear on YouTube, we hear on all these podcasts, we hear this is the best thing. This is the best strategy. Well, look, the reality is it may not be the best thing for you. It might work great for me in my unique situation with my team, and we might be crushing and killing it with it, but it may not be the best for you based on your current situation. So this stuff is nuanced, right? But when it comes to this, I definitely recommend having a few strategies that you're deploying, that you're going after, to ensure that your business is growing and expanding. So let me just go through an example here. Okay, so this is kind of a common example when I'm having, conversations. And this will be, like typically new agents or struggling agents that are going through this. But let's just say, as an example, you need to close, or one of your agents that you just hire, because I know a lot of you are team leaders and brokerage owners listening to this. So let's just say, okay, you or one of your agents needs to close at least 2 homes every single month. Like that's the target. That's the income that you need to do. Whatever your average commission is, you can go break that down. So like in my market, with our average commission, depending on what pocket that you work, that's going to be somewhere between 20, 30 grand a month, top line revenue, gross revenue. And then of course we've got costs and broker splits and all of that, but let's just say that's the target that you got to be at. I got to be closing 2 homes a month. That's my target. That's my goal. So then from there, let's just say then that you're like, well, man, with my strengths, with the things that attract me, because again, as I said earlier, the beautiful thing about this business is there's so many different things that work. Now, that's also can be the overwhelming element, is then, well, shit, there's all these things that work. How do I identify what the best thing for me is? But we can align this. We can start thinking about what our strengths, what our weaknesses, what excites us. So let's just say, okay, man, you get really excited by the thought of growing your business through organic social media. So let's just say, even being more specific, through Instagram, through Facebook, and through YouTube. You're like, man, I really would love to just be putting out content, creating long form content and short form content, pushing that through YouTube, pushing that through Instagram, pushing that through Facebook, growing my audiences there, getting people then to reach out to me. So I'm building more of an inbound business. And look, I'm a huge personal fan of these mediums myself. Right? I do a shit ton of these. If you're watching this, you're probably watching this on YouTube. You might be listening to, I know, get more audio downloads than we do on YouTube. But I'm on all these different platforms as well. And I mean, these platforms have made me millions of dollars over the years, millions and millions of dollars over the years. So I'm a huge proponent of these platforms. So let's just say, as an example, that those are the things that excite you and attract you. And again, I'm just giving you guys examples. You might be like, well, fuck, man, I hate Facebook. I hate Instagram. I hate YouTube. I want to just go out there and do open house. Okay, cool. I'm not telling you by any means to go out there and do these things. I'm just using this as an example, right? So let's just say somebody says this to me. Okay, but I need to be closing 2 homes per month, every single month, like clockwork, to go out there and hit my goal. So my goal is to get to 24 plus units every single year as my target, and I want to get there ASAP, right? But I really want to grow my business again through organic, not paid, but organic Facebook, organic Instagram, where I'm creating stories, I'm creating reels, I'm creating posts, I'm creating long form content on YouTube. Now, then, a question that I always ask, which is a really important question, right? Is then I ask, okay, well, how long can you go without a paycheck before you are in trouble? So I want you to ask yourself that question. So when we're thinking about your goal plan that you're setting up for yourself, or if you're setting up a goal plan for your agents, ask them. This is really important because, like, look, if you're a team leader, broker, or if you're an agent, and this is, you're going through this. I see agents do this all the time, and it's unfortunate. It's sad to see. But one of the reasons why, there's a lot of reasons, but one of the reasons, as to why we have such a high failure rate in this industry, or some that, so many jump in this industry, then they have to retract to go getting a job, and they just, plan on doing this full time, and then this becomes a part-time gig, or they stay in this part-time forever, is because they're not paying attention to this thing called timeline. Right. So then this question is, how long can you go without a paycheck? Again, before you're in trouble. So how you figure that out is, how much money do you have in your savings account? Then from there, what are your monthly expenses, and what's your burn rate? Right? That's what's called a burn rate in the business or personal finance world. Is how many months do you have where you can afford to not go without a paycheck before you are fucked? Right? So before you are in trouble, so let's just say, for this example's sake today, because the most common average answer that I get to that question is 4 months, right? So I'm asking that, whether it be, again, agents within my own real estate company, or on these free coaching calls that I do, or just conversations that I'm having. That is the average time frame that I get. So then from there, okay, here's where the conundrum lies. Okay, let's just say, and this is again where timeline is important. And again, because you're going to go out there and you're going to hear so many quote unquote gurus out there, somebody trying to sell you some damn course out there, whatever, say that, oh yeah, you can grow your business through, YouTube, and you can grow your business through these organic mediums, and, Facebook or Instagram, and they're the best sources. And again, I'm not arguing that they're not amazing by any means, but dealing in realities, and just, and this is something that's really important. We got to deal in realities and deal in averages. Yes, there's always the exception to the rule. There's always the unicorns. There's always those unique circumstances, where sometimes people just start getting business immediately, and you hear about those. And again, when we go out there and we're getting pitched to go out there and buy somebody's course, okay, what kind of testimonials do you think they're going to give you on those courses? Or then when you ask, well, hey, who could I reach out to check, to learn more about your coaching? You think they're going to give you people that failed? You think that they're going to give you testimonials of people that didn't do good, or that took 2 years to build that up? No, they're probably going to give you their star clients, or the people that had some, unique, exceptional, results there with that. So for me, when I'm lead generating, I want to look at, okay, I want to deal in realities and figure out, okay, what are those expectations? Okay, like let's just use YouTube for example. From building out a lot of agents' channels, building out my own channel, it's like, okay, on average, from what I have seen, it's about 10 months. If you are consistently creating the right content, doing it in the right way, and YouTube alone, it's like, if you don't screw anything up and you get everything right, on average, if I have a coaching client or agent in my team, I'm telling them, hey, plan on about 10 months. Might be, look, you might get lucky and go out there and pop some deals sooner than that, right? Like, I've had agents, internally on my team, or coaching clients, that start popping deals in, 5 months. I'm just talking averages here, right? Because this is how, this is, in my opinion, the best way to hedge, the best way to just be intelligent, or be smart in our business, is kind of hope for the best, plan for the worst. So okay, how long can I plan based off of averages, before I can expect a certain business flow to start coming from this? So to start getting consistent lead flow and start popping consistent deals. Like, as an example, with Facebook leads, and when I'm saying Facebook leads, I'm talking like paid Facebook leads. I know that the average lead is in my CRM for 6.7 months before I get a client, right? And then from there, okay, if they're 6.7 months from a client, well, then it's usually 9 to 10 months for a payday. So when I'm setting up, like when I get agents ask me questions of, well, because like this came up the other day for me. somebody asked me, well, what should my monthly budget be on my social media? Like for my paid ads. I'm like, how much can you spend? How much can you afford to spend every single month for, let's just say, the next 10 months without it breaking you before you get any element of an ROI on that? And that should be your starting budget. Right. So, and again, hopefully start popping deals sooner than that. Hopefully we start doing things, but this just ensures that we're giving things enough time, and then we're not getting ourselves in trouble when we plan based off of average timelines. So then in this case, right, somebody tells me this situation. Okay, I want to grow my business through organic, Facebook, organic Instagram, and building on my YouTube channel, but I need a paycheck in 4 months or else I'm going to be in trouble. I'm going to have to go get another job. Like this is all going to be for naught if I don't get a paycheck in 4 months. Okay, then I'm going to tell them, hey, look, all of those things that you want to do are amazing. I do a shit ton of those things too. However, here's where the problem arises, is that even if you do all those things right, the probability is much higher that you are going to run out of money before you start to see the fruits of your labors on those things. Now, I'm not saying not to do those things. What I'm saying is to do those things and then have those as your long-term play, and then let's stack on some now immediate business plays so you can make sure that you have your closings for now that are coming in now, so you got to get those paychecks within that 4 months, and consistent paychecks while those other things are building up. And those other things that over time are building up, over time will then, okay, now once you're popping your 2 or 3 deals a month from those things and they've replaced the now business activities, then then you're safe to drop those. Because then if you stay consistent, as long as you stay consistent, what you're doing with, let's just say in this example, the organic social posting and the YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, right? Okay, well then boom, your business will stay consistent with that. Keep that lead and closing flow coming in. So hopefully this is starting to make sense from there. So what I want you to look at is asking yourself again that question of how long can you go without money? Then from there, ask yourself, okay, do I need a now business strategy when it comes to this? And look, I'll get some agents that will come to me and be like, well, because look, the reality is this is the now business stuff for most in this industry, they don't look at that as the fun stuff, right? I personally look at it as all fun. I enjoy, to me, it's all a challenge. I enjoy all of it. I enjoy creating, content like this for the YouTube channel. I enjoy open houses. I enjoy pounding the phones. I used to not, but I do now, because you get, like, once you get the skill set up and anything that I get results on, I start to enjoy, because I'm able to see the fruits of those labors and get those payoffs and so forth. So, okay, in an agent situation like this, okay, so here's what I would do with them. I would say, okay, let's identify 1 to 2 now business strategies that are going to start leading those paychecks in the first, that 4-month period of time. And there's going to be about 7 of those for this current market right now. Now, not all 7 of these are going to be available to you guys, right? So, like I might have somebody like, what are those 7 things? Okay, like on the buy side, okay, we got Zillow, which when I say Zillow, I'm using Zillow because it's the juggernaut. You got Zillow, you got Realtor.com, you got OpCity. All those are great, for now business strategies, but they're highly expensive. So maybe they don't have the budget for those, or they're not on a team that provides those Zillows. Like look internally and within my real estate company, okay, those that are in our Zillow department, okay, typically they have their first client in their first, usually with the first couple weeks, right? So then that's leading to paychecks within the first 60 days or so, of them joining the team through Zillow leads, because we just are able to load them up with that. So Zillow's very far down the funnel. And this is what, when I say timeline, this is what I mean is how far are they down the funnel on the home buying process. So when I say Zillow, what I'm really referring to is what I call intent-based online marketing. So intent-based versus, because there's 2 types of online marketing. You got intent-based and then you got disruption-based. So intent-based means, okay, when somebody goes, and I'm just going to use Zillow as the example, even though there's a lot of other third-party sites like Zillow, but Zillow's the juggernaut. We're all familiar with what Zillow is. And I know most of you, have your own feelings about Zillow and don't like, but whatever, that's irrelevant, right? Like, I'm just using this as an example here. So, okay, when people go to Zillow, we're going there with intent. We're going there with reason. Nobody goes to, like, when you go to Zillow, like, you're going there to look at freaking homes, right? And then when you inquire on a property, whether it be, an online inquiry or a live transfer call, you're calling about specific information on that property, and the highest probability of those calls is to go out there and see that property, right? So they're kind of like modern day sign calls. So that's what I mean with intent. People went there with intention, and when they're reaching out, like they're expecting to get in touch with you, and they're far down the pipeline, they're far down the funnel, right? Versus, okay, let's just say pay-per-click style, like, Facebook pay-per-click, Instagram pay-per-click. Okay, nobody goes to Facebook as an example, or Instagram, to look at real estate. They're going out there just to, escape from life, be entertained. All of a sudden they see one of our ads, we kind of bait and switch them, if you will. We get their attention, bait and switch them. They're far down the funnel, right? So, okay, so we got Zillow, and these are going to be the two quickest for the buy side. I shouldn't say, okay, intent-based online marketing. We got open houses, right? So then from there, those are about the two quickest in this current market that we are in, at least as of 2024, right? So then from there, on the listing side, we got expireds, we got for sale by owners, we got absentee owners, we got short sales, or I'm sorry, NODs, pre-foreclosures. Percentage of those will be short sales, percentage of those will be equity sales, but we got pre-foreclosures, and then we got those going through a divorce, right? And then I'll get some people that are like, well, what about probates? What about going after, Airbnb owners? Okay, like those things are going to get kind of thrown and tossed in the absentee owner bucket, right? So those are going to be about the 7 niches that are going to lead to the nowest, quickest business. Then from there, let's break that down even further. So then I'll get people like, well, okay, now that I'm going to go after those, let's just say the 5 quickest, best ways to go out there and stack listings right now, which again is FSBOs, expireds, absentee owners, NODs, pre-foreclosures, and divorces. Then people come and be like, well, man, can I run online ads to them? Can I do letters to them? Yes, you can do those things, but those aren't going to be quick, now, immediate business sources. Yeah, right. So it's like, look, I have a great expired letter. That's maybe a ton of money over the years. You guys can got podcasts on it that I've created where I break it down. This thing's made me millions over the years. Just this one letter I've been doing. I've had this, I'm refining different phases of it, but, tweaking. I've been doing this a letter for, I don't know, 17 years now, a long time. But with the letter that I sent, the average expired calls me on letter number 8. That is 5 months post property expiration date on average. So great letter. It's a great way to get expireds calling me saying, hey, I've been receiving your letters. We're thinking about relisting. Would you be willing to meet with us? It's a great way to turn, expireds into inbound lead sources. But again, that when we're doing mailer campaigns, that is usually further down the funnel versus what's the quickest way to go out there and get that business is pounding the phones. Right. And this is where I get a lot of people like, well, I don't really enjoy this stuff. And I'm like, look, I get it. It's going out there and putting out all the open house signs and doing the open houses, or getting out there and getting on the phones and having these conversations, even though it's a hell of a lot easier than the vast majority of people think. And look, if you're having to pound the phones all day, I mean, like, let's just say we're trying to get 2 listings a month, ASAP, right? Okay, dude, if you have the right systems, you have the right process, you have the right strategy, you got the right skill set, that's like an hour a day, Monday through Friday of time. Like this is not, this isn't, I got to pound these phones all day long. Then I'll get people that are like, oh, well, man, I don't want to get hung up on. I don't want to get told to F off all day. I'm like, look, if you're getting hung up on constantly, if you're getting told to F off all day long, that is a skill set issue. And that means you got low level skill set, right? That means your scripting sucks, your pre-framing sucks, your openers suck, your tonality sucks. Like you're just not good at, but you get good at these things. You dial these things in. Okay. You're going to have great, effective conversations that are high converting rates, but I get it. I understand it, right? The now quick business strategies, we're typically having to trade, time for money. And don't kid ourselves, right? Like when people are like, oh, well, I just don't want to have to sit there and trade time for money. So I want, all this content out there, my YouTube channel, I'm getting all these leads, and look, you still got time involved, right? So it's like, okay, it's taking me time right now to record this video, even though, right? Like, okay, I get a lot of inbound business from my videos. I get a lot of inbound business from my social stuff. It's still time. It's still like everything takes work, right? And I get some of us might enjoy other types of work versus the others, but I'm kind of getting off track here. With all of that, you got to understand. Here's what I want you to understand, because I see so many agents going broke because of this. right? Is that like, look, this is a means to an end. And you're going to get, if you're not careful, you can get some bad advice out there. Again, you're going to get people out there, other influencers, other quote unquote gurus, or people trying to sell you shit that will not be honest with you. Just like you got a bunch of bad agents out there that won't be honest with home sellers on what it's actually truly going to take to get their home sold in the current market that it is. And they just give them the price that they want to hear, and they don't tell them what they need to hear, right? A true professional is going to tell you what you need to hear, right? Not just what you want to hear, but what you need to hear. So with these things, okay, we got to understand what that true timeline is. And the reason why I'm bringing this up and I'm getting kind of passionate about this is because I see so many getting duped on this shit, on a constant basis when I'm having conversations with them, and they come to me to get bailed out and help, and I'm happy to do it. I just hate the fact that they had to experience that pain in the first place, right? And I don't want you or your agents to experience this pain. So like with this person in this situation, I would be very upfront and honest. And I'd be like, okay, like right now, as of me creating this video, it's March 3rd, or this podcast, March 3rd, 2024. Okay, so I'd tell somebody, look, your social organic and your YouTube, that is more of your 2025 plan than it is your 2024 plan. Now, look, if we do everything right and whatever, like you're probably going to pop some deals here in 2024. But is it going to lead to your 24 deals in 2024? The probability is much lower that it will not than that it will. So it's dealing realities and dealing probabilities on this. So then from there, so let's work on those things. Let's have that going on and put a strategy plan in place to go out there and start building up the momentum for that stuff and getting that shit rocking and rolling. And then simultaneously, let's identify 1 to 2 sources to go out there and get that now business money coming in. So let's just say it's a brand new agent that just doesn't have high level skill set, right? They're brand new agent, new to sales. So then from there, okay, I would start them off probably on going after absentee owners or going after divorces. Those are really the two easiest, as far as from a scripting standpoint, from a conversion standpoint, very, easier to go out there and convert versus like a Expire FISBO where you're going after and competing against 50 other agents on those things, right? So, okay, I'd have them going after those. So like, okay, I'd explain them the pros and cons of each of these, go through this scripting with them so they can pick which one that they feel fits them best. So it's like, okay, well, hey, that's Monday through Friday. Maybe we got them calling, 30 minutes a day, having, 25 conversation or 25 reach outs, 2.5 conversations a day on divorces. And then every single Saturday have them doing an open house, right? Then from there, okay, we have them on also in addition to that, starting to post putting that strategy together for their social, their YouTube. So this is like, maybe 30, 40 hour work week, kind of a situation here. It shouldn't be more than that, really once we get it dialed in, should be more like 2 home closings a month, should be about a 20, 30 hour work week. If we're, if we're being operating efficient, if we have the right systems, process and skill set in play, so that would be an example of a strategy plan that I put in place with them with that understanding that, look, you're going to get to that point and we're going to track it and measure it of what you're doing with your YouTube videos, what we're doing with, those are going to continue to build momentum, what we're doing with your posting strategy, making sure that you're staying consistent with that, building out the right schedule, making sure that you have the right strategy and systems and processes, and again, skill sets to keep those consistent, keep those flowing. And then boom, eventually you're going to start popping, 1 deal a month, then 2 deals a month, and then that 2 deals a month consistently. And I like to see, 3 straight months in a row of consistency that's tracked and measured. We know it's not a fluke. We know we didn't get lucky. It's now a trend, and then from there, okay, cool. Go ahead and drop the open houses and the cold calls then. Go ahead and drop those. Now that we got these going. So the prospecting stuff that we may not enjoy as much can become a means to an end. But the reason why I'm bringing this up is because this is a trap that I see so many get themselves into. And look, if you want to go roll the dice, you might be able to get lucky and be the exception to the rule, but more often than not, this is where I see people get themselves into a shit ton of trouble, because they're not paying attention to timeline. It's like, okay, they go out there and say, like I need now immediate business, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to start doing these mailers. And I'm going to go out there and start trying to build up market share in this geo farm. Okay. Now I'm not saying to go do those things, but I know like I just, when you do this for 20 years and you sell over 7,000 homes and become one of the top realtors and team leaders on the planet, one of the top coaches, and like you just see shit. And you just know what these timelines are, and we got to pay attention to these and make sure that we're building out smart, strategic plans to make sure that we're not getting ourselves in trouble. And again, this can be a means to an end. It's not like this is going to be a forever thing, but we don't want to get yourself in a situation or your agents in a situation where they run out of money. And this was a mistake that I made as a team leader for a long time is, I just plug people into certain strategies without looking at what their unique situation was and breaking down their financial situation and breaking that down and really because I hire all these new agents, which I still love recruiting new agents as a team leader and a company owner. It's one of my favorite ways to go out, especially in this market, because I'm having a lot more success recruiting new agents right now because they don't have bad habits. They plug in, they didn't get comfortable, over the last decade, and they're willing to do what it takes to succeed in this market, but the mistake that I made before is, dude, like I just put everybody kind of on the same strategy. All right, here's what's worked for me. I'm going to put everybody on the same strategy, not breaking down and spending the time to get to know their personal situation, how much savings that they had. Well, then, okay, let's just say they go 6 months without a paycheck now, which can be very common when people get in this industry. Well, then they're jumping in full time. Well, then next thing you know, they got to go get this part-time job. That part-time job turns to a full-time job. Real estate becomes just a side hustle. And then real estate becomes a non-existent. And then they become a statistic, of the 90% that drop out. What is it? The first 3 or 5 years or whatever that statistic is. It's changed over the years, with that. So that's what we got to be careful with. So make sure that you're paying attention to timeline. And also, look, maybe you are already have the momentum in your business and you're kicking ass, but you want to add something new. Still pay attention to timeline. And why? Because you need to make sure that you are giving enough time for that thing to create success. Like as an example, I see this all the time. Oh, I'm going to start doing paid Facebook ads. And then they start, dumping money into it, but they don't see a conversion in the first 90 days. And then they stop the ad spend. And like, it didn't work for me. I'm like, you just didn't give it enough time. Like you stopped we've all heard Napoleon Hill's famous story of stopping 3 feet short of gold. You want to make sure you do your due diligence, understand what the timeline and what the conversion expectation is. And then understand, okay, like you even do more due diligence than that. Like if I'm looking at a new strategy, I'm looking at, okay, what is the timeline? What are what's average conversions, what's good conversions, what's excellent conversions. So I know a baseline of if I'm sucking or if I'm doing good or, what I need to reach for. Then from there, I'll figure out, okay, what's the best follow-up protocol to maximize conversions? What's the best process? Like I'll make sure that I have all of that in place, before I start investing in that thing. So I got the machine built to go out there and convert and have the most success, position myself for the most success with that thing as I possibly can. So I'm going to go out there and go a little bit deeper into that. And that's what professionals do. And hopefully you're doing that as well. I'm not just going to go out there and start, I'm going to start doing open houses without knowing how to do open houses correctly, how to identify the right property, how to do the right setup, how to, maximize sign-ins, how to, do the right tour process, how to ask for the appointment, how to do the right 1,000-day follow-up program, follow-up protocol. So I can convert at a minimum 1 out of 15 or excellent results 1 out of 10. Right. Like I'm going to go out there and dial this stuff in and spend that upfront time doing my due diligence of figuring out what do I got to do to go out there and kill it and crush it and have the most success with this thing before I start doing the thing. Yeah. Right. Because that's not I got to spend 6 months researching this. No, I might have to spend half a day. Right. Like this shit doesn't take long. Right. So hopefully this is helpful. And again, if you guys need my help, need my support, and I don't care if your business is declining. I don't care if it's stagnant or if it's increasing. If your business is not exactly where you want it to be, and you do not know exactly what you need to do to get from where you're at to where it is that you want to be, whether an individual agent, whether a brand new agent, seasoned agent, team leader, brokerage owner. And if you want my guidance, if you want my help, I invite you to schedule a 100% free. This is 100% free. I usually, used to charge $1,000 an hour for these, doing it for a limited amount of time, opening this up where it's 100% free to you, 100% zero pressure. Like I'm here to coach you. I'm not here to, this isn't some bait and switch bullshit. Right? I'm going to coach you for this entire session. It's going to be a Zoom call. I'm going to break down where your business is at, what your 1 year goals are, what your long-term goals are, what you're currently doing, what your biggest obstacles are. Then from there, I'm going to map out what my exact recommended strategy is to get you from where you're at to where you want to go in the quickest, most effective, efficient, profitable manner possible. So if you want to take advantage of this, go to www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. As I mentioned at the beginning of this podcast, yes, this is an hour-long Zoom coaching session together. We're actually going to spend about 50 minutes doing everything that I just said there. And I can promise you, if that's enough time, we will get you honed in. We will get you dialed in. I've done a bazillion of these. I coach and mentored over 5,000 agents now, outside of my own real estate team, my own real estate company. And then I've coached, I don't know how many through my own real estate, company. So that's plenty of time for us to get you dialed in, right? Then from there, I'm going to spend 10 minutes because I just like to be fully upfront, full disclosure. I am going to spend about 10 minutes walking you through what my coaching program entails, what it looks like. And look, if it's something for you, great. If it's not, that is okay too. We can still be friends. Everything I do is zero pressure. I'm not going to hard pressure you. I'm not going to guilt you. I'm not going to pull that bullshit of like, oh, I thought you wanted to create success. If you want to create success, you got to buy my program. No, I don't do that crap, right? If it's for you, cool. If not, that's okay too. We can still be friends. You have my 100% full promise, full word on this, that whether you do any coaching with me or not, as far as the advanced paid coaching, this free coaching call will be of massive value, massively powerful for you. We will get you dialed in. I 100% got your back. So if you are struggling, stop struggling, man. Just reach out. That's what I'm here for. www.gsdmode.com/Zoom call. All right, guys, keep crushing it, and we'll talk to you next time. Peace.